in the city. Solon, Ohio. Well, actually it's a recording studio, but I digress. They call me Meadowdale. Peter Meadowdale. I don't know why, my real name is Joe Squeamish. It was a warm May afternoon on Friday the 13th, 1946. I was sitting in my office, recording this episode of my show, while tap dancing with my partner in the middle of the room when she walked in.
Hubba hubba.
Hey there, sister. What do you say?
You have to help me. They stole it.
Relax, ma'am. Who did?
They did.
No. Who is they?
The men in chartreuse.
And, what did they steal?
They stole my bottle of champagne.
And could you, describe it?
Well, it was a very expensive imported brand from
No. Describe the bottle.
Oh, it was porcelain with the words Le Fou de France on the label.
I see. What was the year on that?
1933.
Huh. Good year. These men in chartreuse, did they have names?
They mentioned the names Shifty, Shaggy, and Shane.
Yes, and, when did this happen?
Yesterday afternoon around 3 o'clock.
I see. I'll get right on it. And thank you very much, Miss,
Bubbles. Foufou la bubbles.
Thank you for your time. How will I contact you?
You won't.
Excuse me?
I'll find you.
And then she walked out. I glanced at my partner, and he glanced at me. So what do you make of it?
I don't know, Pete. She seemed pretty desperate.
Yeah, she did, didn't she? I could picture her now, just like it was a few lines ago. The way she walked, the way she talked, the way she did that little hair flip thing that every man loves. Her eyes, her nose, her lips, her...
Pete?
No, not her Pete. Her...
Pete, you think we should investigate?
Yes. Yes, of course. 1:25 p.m. We left my office and went to check out the local bars and alleyways for info on the mysterious men in chartreuse. One particular bar, called the Bar in the Alleyway, had some vital information on the case. My partner and I decided to have a talk with the bartender. But first I ordered us 2 scotches on the rocks. The bartender told us that his name was Frank. Then he laughed. And he said that his real name was Bob. We were about to ask Bob a few questions when the phone at the bar rang. Bob answered. But then he laughed and handed it to me. Meadowdale here. Oh, hi, sweetheart. What do you say? It was Christine, the girl I was seeing for the past week.
I'm just calling to tell you that I can't see you tonight for our 1-week anniversary at 6.
Well, why not?
I'm sorry, but I have to meet an old friend down at the docks.
Well, okay. I'll see you tomorrow then. I hung up. Again, my partner and I were about to ask Bob a few questions when the lounge singer started her show. The dame on stage sang a song about love and deception. When it was over, I wiped away the tear from my eye and asked Bob who she was. Bob laughed and said,
Don't you know? No, I don't. She's Miss Susie.
Bob laughed. The guy laughed a lot. I then asked Bob,
Bob?
I said.
Yeah?
He said.
Bob, what do you know about the chartreuse men? I don't know what you're talking about.
I knew his type. Always after a little green. So I slipped him some lettuce, if you know what I mean. And he said he preferred celery. He then said he knew that one of their hideouts was a shack on Shamrock Street. I thanked him and flipped him a quarter. Told him to keep the change, and I walked over to where Miss Susie was sitting.
Hey there, sweetheart.
What do you say there, big fella?
I resented that. I knew I was a tad overweight for a man my age. And maybe I had one too many powdered donuts. But hey, I wasn't big. I mean, aside from the fact that I
said, what do you say?
Well, Miss Susie, I'd like to ask you a few questions about the chartreuse men.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I see.
So I slipped her a little lettuce too. She ate it quietly, and then asked,
What about them?
Well, do they come here often?
About once a week.
Hmm? And, have you seen them carrying a champagne bottle recently?
As a matter of fact, I have.
Could you describe it?
Well, I think it was very expensive and imported from...
No. Describe the bottle.
Oh, you mean like it was a forest green shade with the words Le Fou de France on the label.
That's exactly like what I mean. Do you know where it is?
I've never seen it before in my life.
I see.
I could sense she was holding something back, but I wasn't sure what.
Well, thank you for your time, Miss Susie.
Don't mention it, handsome.
I walked away from her table and found my partner where I thought he'd be, having a drink at the bar. I sat next to him on one of the bar stools. But then I fell off because the bar stool wasn't big enough for the two of us, and I sat on the one next to him. I asked Bob for a scotch on the rocks, and he said okay while laughing hysterically. He handed me the drink, and I drank, while picking out some of the pebbles. I asked my partner what he found out from talking with Bob.
Not much. The guy keeps laughing. How about you, Pete? Anything from Miss Susie there?
Well, she somehow knows something about the champagne bottle, but there's definitely things she's not telling me.
What do you think we should do?
Well, I think we should go have a little chat with Mojo, and then walk to that shack on Shamrock Street that Bob mentioned.
Good idea.
2:05 p.m. We went to see Mojo, an old friend of mine who knew a lot about everything. He was an interesting guy. In order for anyone to get information on anything, you had to question him in rhyme. Mojo had an abandoned warehouse on the corner of 4th and Main. But Maine was an awfully big state, so he moved here. My partner and I walked up to his back door, and I knocked the secret knock. He opened the small security panel on the door so we could see his eyes.
How's the weather?
Cloudy with a chance of cats and dogs.
Is the clam chowder the same consistency?
As thick as ever, Black & Decker.
Then Mojo closed the panel and we heard the rattling of hinges and locks. A few minutes later, after all the locks were undone, he opened the door and we walked inside.
So, Mojo, what do you know?
Well, my flowers won't grow.
Huh. Have you tried a hoe?
No, I don't believe so.
You should. It helps the water flow.
Thanks. But what are you guys really here for?
Well, we want to know about the Chartreuse Trio.
They're a strange bunch of characters. They have a way of blending into the crowd, if you know what I mean. Their works are done in secret, and usually involve large sums of money. Shifty is the craftiest, but he's hardly ever noticed. Shaggy knows a lot about picking locks and breaking into safes. He's also the hairiest. And Shane, well, no one ever talks about Shane anymore.
But Joe, we need to know.
No, that's as far as I go.
Well, can you at least tell us who they work for?
They have a boss, but he's not talked about or seen as far as I know.
Well, thanks for your time, Joe. But we gotta go.
(2:20 p.m. We left Mojo's place and took that walk to Shamrock Street. Since it was such a nice day, we bought some ice cream and walked through the park on the way there. I wanted vanilla, but my partner insisted on Rocky Road. When we got to the shack, we knocked on the door. But no one answered. We knocked again and waited a little longer this time. Still, no answer. 4:30 p.m. We decided to go back to the bar in the alleyway. When we got there, my partner and I sat at the bar. I asked Bob if he knew anything about Miss Susie. He said he didn't know what I was talking about, so I slipped him a little more lettuce. He threw it in my face, and then said that he saw her the other night at the East Dock by a small steamboat called the SS Susie. He also said that the steamboat made a strange whistling noise, almost like a bell. Just then, Miss Susie started one of her little numbers. After her big number, number 78, I went and talked to her again. Maybe this time I would find out some important clues to the case.
Miss Susie? Peter Meadowdale. I'd like to ask you a few questions.
What's eating you, Gumshoe?
Nothing. But I do want to know one thing. Miss Susie, do you have a steamboat? And if so, does that steamboat have a bell?
What are you getting at?
All I'm saying is that I think you know something about the chartreuse men that you're not telling me.
What do you think you know that you think I know?
Oh, I think you know what I know that you definitely know.
No, I don't know.
No?
No.
Oh.
I'll tell you what I do know. The chartreuse men are planning on meeting tonight at the docks around 6-ish.
Thanks.
I got up from her table and went to talk to my partner, who was once again at the bar. I sat down. Then I remembered. They had bar stools for that, so I got up and sat down on one of those.
What's your pleasure?
Asked Bob.
None of your dang business. No! What do you want to drink? The usual. Scotch on the rocks.
Bob said he was out of scotch, so I told him to give me an Irish on the rocks. He handed me the drink, and I drank it. I turned to my partner after spitting out some limestone and said,
I'm feeling kind of queer. I think someone poisoned me.
I doubt that, Pete. With all the liquor you've had tonight, that would have the same effect.
Yeah, you're right. It's just that I'm a little down. I mean, this case is going nowhere. And I can't see Christine tonight for our one-week anniversary because she'll be down at the docks around 6 o'clock. But the good news is I found out from Miss Susie that the chartreuse men will be down at the docks around 6-ish.
Pete, do you know what this means?
They're not punctual?
No. Christine and the chartreuse men will be at the docks at the same time.
Hey, you're right. What time is it?
5:39.
We have to hurry. The drive to the docks is at least 15 minutes. If we don't get there soon, Christine's life could be in danger.
So we got in my car and hightailed it over to the docks. 5:40 p.m. We reached the docks just in time to see Christine standing by herself, looking out on the water. I ran up to her.
Christine, where's that friend of yours?
Pete, he said he'd be here any minute. What are you doing here?
I'll explain later. Right now, I've got to get you out of here.
I'm afraid that's impossible, Mr. Meadowdale.
Said a voice.
Shaggy's the name. Shaggy C.
Mojo? Mojo, is that you?
The same.
That means you're one of the...
He's quick.
Bob? Bob the bartender?
Actually, my real name is Shifty.
Just then, a small rowboat that I assumed belonged to the SS Susie pulled up to the dock. And out walked Miss Susie, with someone else I couldn't make out since they had a mask on.
Miss Susie, I should have guessed. You're the dealer, since you have this little steamboat of yours.
Obviously.
And you were here last night because of your latest shipment?
Correct again.
Then who is that under the mask?
And as the mask was lifted, I was amazed at what I saw.
Hello, Monsieur Meadowdale. It is I, Fufu la Bubbles.
Okay, Miss Bubbles, what's your cut of the deal in all this?
They give me a free bottle of champagne with every shipment.
Come on, Christine. I gotta get you out of here.
I don't think so.
But wait a minute. Shane is a man's name. And I thought you hated wearing green.
Shane. It's short for Shaney.
Fine. But if all you were in this from the start, then, how does your boss play a part in all this?
Simple. I keep you off the trail.
Not you! That explains why I never knew your name. And why you knew the password to Mojo's, Shaggy's hideout. That also explains why you're always talking with Bob, Shifty at the bar. So what is your real name, my so-called partner?
Charlie the Crab, at your service.
But why all this work over confusing me?
Well, we know what you've done with all the gangs in the past, and we want to make certain that you failed this time.
One last question. What is La Fou de France?
Simple. The Fool of France is whoever's dumb enough to fall for our little trick. The Fool of France.
Let's recap here.
The champagne shice was actually a scam from out of state, and Shifty, Shaggy, and Shane are actually two brothers and a sister that make up the Chartreuse Trio. The shack on Shamrock Street was meant to keep me shifted from the case, and my partner is actually the gangster, Shirley the Crab.
It's Charlie. Sorry about that. It's all right. Happens all the time. And now, Mr. Meadowdale, your life of heroics ends here.
I have one last request. Don't kill me!
Nice try. But as they say in your country, adios, amigo.
And for the first time in my life, I really didn't know what to do. All 6 of them had a gun pointed at me. So I did the only thing I could do. I took care of the essentials. And I jumped over the edge of the dock.
So, you guys want to get a beer?
Okay.
Yeah?
I swam underneath the woodwork of the place until I felt safe enough to resurface. When I finally climbed onto shore, I was somewhere on the outskirts of town. I shook the water off of me and started to walk home. What a day. My partner turned out to be one of the biggest gangsters in town. My girl turned out to have really bad taste in suits. And the French woman of my dreams loved something more than me. Booze. And to top it all off, I took a swim in the worst place. Lake Erie. I never do think I'll get that green glowing to stop. I decided then and there that I would never get involved with strange women and liquor at the same time again. Just then, I heard a soft sobbing noise coming from a park bench. I walked over to the sound, and it turned out to be a gorgeous little brunette, crying her eyes out. I asked her what the trouble was.
What's the trouble, ma'am?
Just that someone stole my bottle of seltzer water.
Really? What was the year? much, Miss,
Bubbles. Foufou la bubbles.
Alright, look good. Look good.
Hi.
Charles just sitting here. I'm just... I'm having a good show here. This is very nice.
Oh, and she walked out.
Alright, ready?
Yeah, take 4.
Something like that. And action.
Staying with the tongue! Son of a... Let's try it one more time.
It's like you're chewing gum or something.
I hit my pen. Okay, last time. And could you, describe it?
It was a very expensive imported
I'm
plant
missing a pen. Good year. And these men in chartreuse, do they have names?
Well, they mention the name Shifty, Shady, and Shane.
Very good, except the fact it's Shaggy and Shane.
Right.
Let's try it one more time with the right names this time.
Do you fancy a shag?
Oh!
LB. And action.
Well, it was a very expensive imported brand from...
No. Who is they? Son of a biatch. No, it's not that. It's no. Describe the bottle.
Right.
Try it one more time.
And take 2. Action.
It was a warm May afternoon on Friday the 13th, 19... Action.
Ready and action.
From where?
Thank you. That's all we have for time today.
Did you trip?
No, it's good. Wait. You want to try it one more time?
Yeah.
What time did this happen?
Beats the hell out of me. Still did not write that.
3 o'clock?
3 o'clock sounds good.
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
I'll meet you there. And
Out of his costume. How's it feel to have wrapped up photography?
I feel loose, I feel fresh, and I'm very excited of watching Peter Meadowdale.
Think of it, yeah, definitely a good film.
The best film, better than a Blair Witch Project.
Ooh.